This time last year, we were starting to ask some not really fun questions. Now we have the answers to those questions, and it is actually kind of fun. Stick around. We're going to get into it right now. How's it? Welcome into another episode of Loose Cannons. I am BG, the Bearded Gooner. You guys know who I am. Next to me is the realest one out there, the real one himself. Ryan, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. Interesting and fun week coming up. So excited about that, but a lot of good stuff to talk about from the weekend. So excited to get into it.
Yeah, it's nice to actually have a good solid win to talk about, but actually some good talking points coming from it, and nothing negative, really. Nothing to complain about that I'm aware of. Below us is the OG one, OG Ryan. What's up?
What's going on?
He's a man of few words.
Yep.
But those
I don't know what to say. Yeah, I can't wait to
those
talk.
words will count.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm now reminded of the scene in the 1989 Batman movie with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson where
oh, that one sucked.
You're out of your mind.
I'm just kidding.
I will absolutely fight you.
I saw you tweet something about it, and
He had to get
into my head when you said it. So.
Billy D. Williams was Harvey Dent in that movie, but he was with the mayor, and he was given a speech, and he said, "I'm a man of few words, but those words will count, and so will my actions." We don't have any act. It's a great movie. It's damn near an American classic. Anyway, so let's get right into it. So we pick up the 3-0 win at the weekend over Nottingham Forest. Are you Tottenham in disguise? They decided they were going to wear white and blue. Ange is the new manager. We talked last week about the new manager bounce. Within, I dare say, the first 10, maybe 15 minutes, any reservations I had of anything like that happening were out the window. Real one. I'll start with you. Just general thoughts on the match. We'll get into specifics in a little bit.
I mean, I mean, it was a very comprehensive win. I mean, we played well in the beginning. I definitely wanted to see a little bit more, but I mean, after the first goal, we just imposed our will, and then second goal hits. Ange even said it. He said, 1 second goal in, the game was over. Yeah, and that's what happened. Game was over 1 second goal in. It was a pretty comprehensive victory. I think there was a lot of good pieces all around in defense, in attack, in the midfield. A good save by Raya. So literally, I mean, it's as a complete win as you could really get. So very, very happy, especially, a couple of days before our first Champions League game.
Let's try this again. Real one.
I thought you said I heard real, and then okay.
No,
I did good there.
It's fine. It was actually funny. It was.
Yeah.
I thought you said OG, and then
ladies and gentlemen, this is what you get when you bring in two guys that have the same name. You have to come up with nicknames for them, and then they forget their nicknames.
Well, all right. Who cares? I'm done.
Great.
Anywho,
You're the man. Ryan's the man. We're not giving him shit.
Go on.
Yeah, it was comfy, right? And I think that's what I'm looking for, right? I'm already nervous enough about every game because it feels like every game is just a must win, even though you don't have to win them all. But these are ones you do have to win, right? Forest, Ange in there, like they're not at their best. We're at home, even though we're missing some players. We know we're so much better. So it's nice to go in there I mean, I went in there really not feeling any stress, and I didn't feel it at all throughout the game. And that's just what we can do to teams. We really make it tough. And I think there was times where they were, putting some good patterns here or there, but the way that we just snuff it out and just give you no air just makes it really comfy. So, it was an enjoyable watch. I loved it. It was nice.
I think also what made it really nice, at least for me, and I agree, like I wasn't sweating throughout the entire game. Seeing their starting 11, they were decimated in the back. Their back four was all mixed and matched. Their left back normally plays center back. Their right back normally plays left back, and the right back was hurt. So they had to move a bunch of pieces around. So I was very excited to see. I was also very excited to see how we were going to attack them, because to me, I would have attacked their left, so our right. So we'd have to put a lot of pressure on Madueke. And we did. That's exactly what we did. We attacked the right side early on. So it was cool that Arteta really trusts this new signing. Is this his first or second start at right wing? No, I think first, right? He didn't start last week, right?
Second. He started.
Oh, he did. He did. Okay,
yeah.
Oh yeah, second did get hurt. First game, yeah, fucking crazy. Or second game, whatever, fucking crazy. But yeah, no. So it was cool that we were. I think at one point, the first 30 minutes of the game, we were at 68% attacking down the right. It was something crazy. I know it was in the teens in the middle and then the left. So it was actually wild. We ended up, after they made their subs, we ended up kind of evening out and attacking more on the left. But I think what's good for me is seeing that we see an obvious issue in their team, a weakness, and we attack it no matter who's playing, whether it's Saka, whether it's Madueke. It's good that we're relying on these new signings early, because we're good. We're going to need them. Depth is a thing, and I'm happy that we have such a thing, which I'm sure we'll talk more about later.
For sure. I lost. Oh, the center back. I can never remember his first name. Murillo.
Yeah.
Murill.
The one that got hurt. Yeah.
When he got hurt. And then is it Morado?
Yeah.
It was playing.
Morado. He was a
left back for them.
He was on toast.
Elliot.
He's the center back.
And he moved over, and Elliot at Arsenal Vision was like, I think that was the best part of his day, is when Murillo got hurt and he had to move inside to quit getting beat.
It's true. He was
like an absolute drum.
Yeah.
By Nottingham Forest. Did you guys hear this? They were singing his name to Seven Nation Army.
No, that's awesome though.
At the stadium.
Yeah.
Oh, Nottingham Forest. I don't know if anybody's heard the Roman Reigns thing.
Is
that Seven Nation Army?
No, it's not. But keep going. Just keep going.
It is. It is Seven Nation Army.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It's the White Stripes. It's Seven Nation Army. Shut your mouth.
Seven Nation. Oh yeah. But isn't there okay? Forget it. Just keep going. Sorry.
There are no words. There are no words to that part. People.
No, I know.
I don't know if anybody knows the Roman Reigns thing. Roman Reigns. That's the song I want to hear sung at the Emirates with somebody else's name. Victor Gyökeres actually works well for that one. Anywho, yeah, we're let's get into this right now with Donny Madueke. I am going to throw my hands up, and I won't say I doubted him. I was not expecting this. Imagine when he scores his first goal at the Emirates. If they put a roof on it, it would come off. When he scores, that crowd is going to go absolutely bonkers when he scores his first goal. And there were a lot of haters out there around, when he got signed. What are we doing? It's a luxury signing, blah, 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 this, that, and the other thing. I was in that crowd, not from an ability standpoint or a talent standpoint, but we have bigger needs that we needed to address, that I felt we should have addressed first. And if we don't get those deals over the line, and it's because of the Nani Madueke deal, where are we going to be? I was wrong on so many counts. And OG, you're the man, dude. You're the man. You had it. Look, I mean, hey, I can admit when I'm wrong. I can admit when I was off the mark. I was off the mark on this because I did not think he would have this much of an impact. That dude is an absolute stud. And I don't think that there will be a conversation that Mikel Arteta will have to have with himself when Bukayo Saka comes back healthy. But other managers might have a conversation because, boy, oh boy, I get the end product in there, man. And he's going to be unplayable. He may already be unplayable, but he was absolutely, here's put it this way, guys. And when I say that, everybody watching right now, anybody watching on replay, not just the two that are on the screen, he was man of the match. And another new signing, who was arguably the signing of the summer, scored twice, one of which is an absolute banger. The other one is a brilliant header. Nani Madueke, no points, no goal, no assist. Did he wait? No, he didn't get the assist on Subi's volley, right?
Well, no, but where did you see him getting man of the match? Because I'm pretty positive Zubi got man of the match.
I'm fairly certain most of the people that voted on the Arsenal.
Oh, the Arsenal
voted
thing.
him.
Okay.
Voted
I think
him man of the match.
like at the game he got.
Oh, I'm sure the media didn't give it to him, but I'm saying I didn't personally vote, but us as fans, supporters, people that did voted him man of the match. Which to me, you could say, well, the pundits know more what they're talking about. But we're the fans, we're the supporters. So I don't know who you'd want to put more stock in. Whatever. Look, it's not that far off the reservation to be like, yeah, another new signing with 2 goals, an absolute screamer, one of them being, and this dude gets man of the match. I mean, that's how good he was to get that, to at the very least be in the conversation for it. I mean, I hold my hands up. OG, Nani Madueke is an absolute stud. You were right. I can't say that I doubted him, but I just didn't. I didn't think we were getting this. So, real Ryan, piggyback off of everything I'm saying here.
Yeah, so, I was one of the guys that I thought he was a good player, and I was going to give him the benefit of the doubt because Chelsea's a mess, and sometimes a lot of youngsters on that team got to find a way, to make a name for yourself. So a lot of people thought he was selfish, and I think Martin Keown asked him after the game, did you guys hear this?
Yeah.
And he's like, I didn't know about you. He basically said, I was, kind of nervous.
I wasn't aware of your game.
Yeah. But he's like, I was kind of nervous that you come to Arsenal because, I took you as kind of selfish. And I think he answered it great in saying that, like, as a winger, you kind of need to be, and you kind of got to back yourself. And there's a few guys. So and Ryan was right. He was on it from the beginning. I was a little bit, I thought the speed that we did the fee at, like, I didn't think like, wow, why do we have to do it right away? But then I'm hearing some backstory that, we really thought it was a market opportunity. Chelsea basically came in there and said, well, you see what Mohamed Kudus just went? Like, we feel like he's at the same value. And we said, oh, you think that, like, Madueke and Kudus are equal? Like, okay, cool. We'll take that all day. Like, we'll buy him right away. We're not wasting any time. So, obviously we saw something. And I think a lot of the stats community were really seeing the underlying metrics. And they're just like, dude, like, this dude is gonna explode. Maybe it's just not the right situation at Chelsea, but the numbers, I mean, the carries, the shots, like the progressiveness, like, he is very direct, and that's exactly what we needed. So we obviously had it right, just like Ryan did too, where we felt like this is the player that we needed. And, just speaking about the game, and obviously he was incredible. He doesn't finish with the G's and A's are escaping him, but 12 touches in the penalty area, 5 chances created, most crosses, most duels. There's some other deeper metrics, that he had, like expected possession value, all the crazy metrics basically won just all across the board. So He played well for England coming to this game, so he's
Yep.
really finding form. And my hope is, and it's weird because, like, how are we going to fit all these guys on the field? Like, you right now you can't take them off, right? So it's just like, it's one of those things. Like, will he be this effective on the left? And if he's on the left, like, where does Eze go? We don't want to drop Eze, Saka. So it gets confusing on how we'll do it. But we definitely have the mix of players to have some interesting lineups and some great guys that'll have to come off the bench. So yeah, man, really, really impressive start. I'm pumped for him.
OG, you wanna stand up and accept your flowers here?
It's funny you said. It's funny you brought up flowers. I actually am not going to take my flowers yet because this is just one game. But Ryan did allude to some of the things I was just going to say. Most crosses 14, most touches in the opponent's box 12, most duels 9, most chances created 5, most successful take-ons 4, most tackles, which I think is a big deal, 3, most fouls 1, 2, and this isn't just most for Arsenal. This is most in the game. Not that really Forest did anything, but yeah, no, I mean, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers. Like, I'm not. But yeah, this is just one game. The thing I'm worried about, and you kind of alluded to it, was like BG. When you said, "Oh, he's like unplayable," I don't know. It's gonna be tough for me and even people that and other people that really back him to want to start him over Eze and Saka. But something that we could get into, we're going to get into. There may be an opening in the right 8/10/center midfield spot with an injured Odegaard. So maybe we move Eze over. Madueke plays left wing. Not as good on the left wing as he's been for us on the right wing, but I mean, he's still by far and away the best option we have playing across the front three.
I need to bring a notepad and sit it at my desk so I can make notes because I want to come back to something along those lines, but I don't want to get into it right now. And I don't want to forget it, but I want to come back to it. I got to find something.
None of a notepad. I have like a white. I mean, you already know I got the whiteboard and everything.
Well, no, I had a notepad up here and I was writing other things on it. I took it downstairs and it's a whole. You can
always just put it in the chat, in the private chat. I will write it down.
Ah, that's a good idea. Back to real Ryan's point about what we it was about the market opportunity thing, and I think that is I think that's very well put because I think that's really what it was. I think scouts at the club were like, if we can get this guy for 50 million, that's going to be a steal. And we've got a few of those in this squad right now that we brought in this summer, some absolute steals, which we will expand on in a few when we do our ups and downs. But let's go with, you guys want to get into headlines? Is there anything else that we want to cover, generally speaking, from the game?
Yeah, I don't think this will be an up or a down for anybody. I thought it was very interesting to see when Gilchrist went off and Rice came on. People were like, oh, here we go. Mourinho's going to play 9. We get to see Mourinho at 9. He's going to lead the line. And I was like, my palms were getting a little sweaty. My face was turning like a pink, a little bright red. Because I had this 20-minute debate with BG about how I don't want him leading our line. He's not going to play striker for us. He's not the answer. Like, don't put him there. And I'm like, here we go. We're going to see the first game after I said this. He's going to be playing striker for us. But he didn't. And it's funny because I was talking to somebody in another chat, and they were like, oh, it's nice to see Mourinho play 9. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He didn't lead the line at all. When Gilchrist came off, the people that were the front attackers were Declan Rice and Gabriel Martinelli, which I like because of many reasons, not even pertaining to Mourinho. But yeah, that's good too. But to be honest, I think this is the way Martinelli gets either back into the team or like has a place in the team. Is if he comes on, you bring Gilchrist off, and you have Martinelli kind of playing a false 9, kind of running at the back 4 in the middle of the pitch. I think that's the way Martinelli kind of can find his game, because I think he just, we all have said this. He does too much. He dribbles too much. He doesn't lift his head up.
Maybe if you put the net like right in front of him, so if he ever does lift his head, and that's what he sees, as opposed to being out on the left.
Well, it's that, and when you're in the middle of the pitch, you have more options. And so I like that, and I'm glad that this narrative about Mourinho about he scored a hat trick against Turkey, so he's our backup striker. Like, it's crazy, but yeah, I'm glad that we kind of like kept the status quo, kept him where he's best for us, and tried something else. Because also, like with Declan Rice playing the 9 or leading the line, I wouldn't even say he played a 9, but he's got a motor on him, and whereas he might not be a striker by nature, he's got a motor and he'll run around the pitch, and he didn't start. So he was fresh. He was energized. That was really good to see. And I think backlines won't really expect him. And he's someone also that can win duels. And if he's winning duels in the final third, like, that's huge. And not that we're going to need to, because chances are if he's leading our line, we kind of don't need goals. So that's always good. But yeah, I mean, that I thought that was very interesting. Oh, and real quick about Menweke, I forgot to say, I thought it was really weird when Gary Neville compared him to Arjen Robben. It made me question all of reality, because I don't know if he's ever watched like international football or Arjen Robben play. They could not be two different players. I mean, I guess in the fact that they both like dribbling on the right side of the pitch and cutting to the left, but Robben's just a flat out like goal scorer. Nani's like everything else. So I thought that was just like crazy. I want to like strangle Gary Neville, and I love Arjen Robben is one of my favorite players. I love Arjen Robben. I'm a big fan of Dutch football, especially growing up. I was huge Dutch football guy. Like finding out that Van Nistelrooy played for Man U kind of broke my childhood and kind of ruined me as a kid, because I loved watching them play for the national team. But yeah, no, I don't know. Maybe people will tell me I'm crazy in the chat, but yeah, no, Nottingham Forest is not Arjen Robben. Not that he's not good enough, and Arjen Robben will cut on his left foot and shoot and score goals from the craziest positions. Nottingham Forest obviously didn't do that. He did not get on the score sheet, but I don't know. So that was very, very odd. But yeah,
he's not there. He's not there yet. But
it's not even not being there yet. It's just he's not Arjen Robben. Like Arjen Robben is a goal scorer. Like he'll cut on his left and he's gonna shoot every time. He's not gonna pass. He's not gonna do anything. He's literally gonna dribble down the pitch, the right side, cut it on his left, and shoot every time. It's just I think it's what made him such a good footballer is because he did it every time. You knew he was gonna do it, and you still couldn't stop it. I think that's probably the most frustrating you can get playing a player, and I think that's what makes great players, I guess, world class in my opinion, when you know what they're going to do and you still can't do anything about it. But yeah, I don't know. Going on about Arjen Robben, I could do a whole podcast about Arjen Robben, but yeah,
it sounds like it. Sounds like you might be able to do a few more things with him too.
Dude, when was it Mexico? He got the penalty. I mean,
Jesus, I wasn't being serious.
Yeah, I love Arjen Robben. Sorry.
So
after all that, I kind of lost my. Oh, I know where we're going. Real Ryan, I'll give you a last word on the match if you wanted to say anything else about it.
No, I mean, I think we basically covered it, and the Madueke thing's interesting because Arteta wanted Rafinha so bad a few years ago.
Yeah,
I think he finally got the profile of player that fits that, and it's looking like so far that's going to work out pretty well. So.
Yeah.
And about the Marino thing, so funny. I honestly think sometimes Arteta is just fucking with us with stuff like that. You know what I mean? He's like, you guys just think I'm just gonna do this? Like I'm not. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I just think it's funny sometimes, but yeah. And the other thing too, and I noticed this, and you guys probably did too, is early in the game. And just speaking about, Martinelli and maybe Ryan's right, where maybe we do see him at 9, just that way he can just get him behind, and it's just a lot more straightforward for what he needs to do. But it was like the first 6 minutes of the game, and as it does the show and go and just absolutely burns my man down the line. He gives him the in and out and just takes him line. It's just something that Martinelli's just not going to do in such a tight space. And it's just that's just what you need your winger to do. And we would love it if he could, have that sort of skill on him to beat a guy in a phone booth, if you will, and get out of spaces like that. But it's just not in his game, and it's nice having some players that can do that now. So
yeah, the only I lied. I'm just going to put this out there, and I'm just going to say it. I'm not going to expand on it because we will over the course of the show. But 5 new signings, I believe, started this match for us today. 5 new signings from the summer started this match today. So let's get into the headlines. Anybody want to go first?
Yeah, I'll do mine. Mine's so simple, but
simple is good.
Depth delivers, and you just mentioned it there, and I could just tell you how many times in past seasons where if we didn't have the 11, all the studs, everybody, it just felt that we weren't going to win, and that's probably one of the reasons why it led to, a lot of draws with rotation, and guys just weren't coming in, haven't played any games, and Arteta was just forced into some of these 11s that just felt clunky. And you look at a lineup and think, you're looking at it like, who's going to score, who's going to create. If Odegaard's not playing or Saka's not there, you're just like, we didn't know where anything was going to come from. And it's just like, how are we going to get through this game? And mostly it was from set pieces, which thank God, like we were great at them, and that usually helped us out. But Clive and Scott, Willis did a podcast the other day about all the draws we had. And the thing that was most notable was all the draws that we had after we had already taken a lead. And that is something that has always bothered me. And I think sometimes when you have these lineups that, aren't really getting much playing time together, and it's just you're kind of forced into it, like those kind of things can happen. But I think we just have such a bevy of players that can come. Like we just talked about it, like the guys that came off the bench, it's like Martinelli and Rice and Trossard. Like, are you kidding me? You know what I mean? Like these are guys that we're starting every single game. So the fact that we can just comfortably just, push over a Forest team who isn't horrible. I mean, they have their own issues, but I mean, we gave them nothing. And it was just, it's so simple. So yeah, I mean, I will obviously talk about that a lot, and we will tonight, but it really did feel good.
OG, I saw the look on your face. I can't wait for you to say that he verbatim.
No, please
took
don't.
Your headline.
No. I was laughing. It actually had nothing to do with Brian. I was laughing at. I don't want to say anything about what we talked about in the green room. I was laughing at what yours is going to be. I don't know what for everyone in the chat, I don't know what it is, but like, I just laughed at, I feel like.
You want me to go next?
Yeah, I do. Cause I want to get my laughing out of the way.
It is along the same lines as what the real Ryan just said, but I tried to go clever with it, and my headline is unfathomable depth. See what I did there?
What?
You don't know what a fathom is? Fathom is how you measure the depths of the depth of water, like very deep water.
Real clever.
Too smart, bro.
See?
Big brain.
Yeah,
my brain
man.
Exploded. I'm just such an idiot.
Unfathomable depth.
Yeah. Nice. Good one.
I feel like there's a line out of Pirates of the Caribbean that utilizes unfathomable as well, and it was pretty clever. So I can't necessarily take full credit for the cleverness on that one because I'm fairly certain I've heard it somewhere before. But yeah, again, so 5 new signings start this game. And to reference my intro tonight, let's think back to just last season in general. Odegaard goes down with what was likely a high ankle sprain that kept him out for a month, 6 weeks, somewhere in that neighborhood. Wasn't classified as high ankle, but when you're out that long with an ankle, that's usually what it is. Bukayo Saka tears his hamstring. Gabby Jesus tears his ACL. Kai Havertz tears his hamstring. Big Gabby tears his hamstring. Who am I missing? What am I missing? Injury-wise. I'm sure there were a few others last season that I'm not getting. But last year we're okay. How severe is this injury? How long is the player gonna be out for? What are we gonna do? Now Mikel Arteta has to get creative with, back to OG's thing, with putting Mikel Merino at the 9. It's hey, God bless. Excuse me. God bless him for doing it. God bless the versatility that we had in the squad to be able to do some things like that. But it was needed. It was necessary. Now, I'm not asking the question of when Martin Odegaard's going to be back from the shoulder. I obviously want him back, but I'm not sweating it. I'm not sweating not having the one of the world's best center halves at the back, partnering with Big Gabby and William Saliba, because boy, oh boy, Christian Mosquera. I mean, my
Different
goodness.
gravy, man.
Now let's not. Let's not. I don't necessarily want to overhype him. Great goalkeeper at the back. Another one of the world's best center halves in Big Gabby back there. Martin Zubamendi playing in front of you, and Jurrien Timber, who at this point now on this side might be the best 1v1 defender that we have. And then you throw Mosquera in there, so he's insulated a little bit. He's especially against a Nottingham Forest. He's going to look good just with the players around him are going to make him look good. But the depth thing, unfathomed. This is what we want. And Real Ryan, to your point, like, how do we fit all of these guys in? It's the good problem to have.
Right.
It's the going into a season, you look at the roster and you're like, that's the question that you want to ask yourself is, how do we keep this talent happy all season long?
And just quick point to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to jump across Ryan because I don't want to take anything he says, but the real thing that I'm excited about.
My headline was good enough. He's not a huge chance.
The real thing I'm excited about with that is these guys can actually come in and be fresh.
Yeah.
Like normally, like Declan Rice was going to play. He's going to play 2 90s in England and then come play this game for however long. It's just like, that's why I think the injury problem started to really turn on us, is because the guys are just playing too freaking much. And so it's nice that he can come in for a little cameo. He'll be fresh if he plays at Bilbao, and he'll look great. And I'm sure if we handle that game, like hopefully we should, he'll come off and he can be ready for City. So whereas in previous years, he'd literally play every single game.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's nice to have that where guys can come in and be fresh, because you can tell. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a good one. That's a good one for me for sure.
Yeah. OG, you're up. What do you got? You're muted.
No, I'm not. My wife's talking to me. No, he signed in this offseason. Sorry. My wife's talking about Chubb. Nick Chubb. Sorry. American football. Anyways, sorry. No, so my headline, and I have a feeling we're going to talk about depth all season. So, like, I was, like, trying to steer away from depth. I didn't want to bring depth up, although I guess depth kind of explains my headline a little bit. My headline is One Heartbeat. I was surprised at our 11 and I was surprised how well our 11 worked together. A lot, like you brought up, 5 new signings were in the starting 11. Just a lot of, like, and Eze signed with us weeks ago. Like, a lot of players, I was like, they don't have really time to gel. So I was expecting a lot of individual performances, like maybe an Eze or world-class goal, or something like that. I wasn't expecting this team to operate as one machine, one heartbeat. Literally moved like a machine. The passes flowed. The pace was just very, like, it wasn't bumpy. I didn't see everyone's horseshoe of death. Players leaving spaces. They weren't afraid to leave their space because someone on our squad was right there to cover it. Which, when we're playing Arsenal football and, like, we have our starting 11 doing our thing, like, we're playing like this, like everything that I'm talking about right now. But, like, with our depth, with our starting, the 5 new signings being in the 11, it was just crazy to see. It was just, I think even with our best 11, take the signings out, the new people out, I don't know if I've seen a team really being played this cohesive together. Just the speed at which we played, the pace was just, I don't even want to say it was relentless, but it was in a way it was relentless. It was just steady. It was always coming. It wasn't a choppy game in the fact that, like, we weren't sloppy at any point. It just flowed, and it was just great. It was in a way, it was just total football. And it's good. It's good that we could do that and be a team like Forest, who I'm not saying, they're gonna make Champions League or anything like that at the end of the season, but they're a decent squad. new manager bounce is definitely a thing. But no, they have a lot of good pieces. They have a lot of players on their team. I don't say a lot. They have a couple players on their team that are going to play for better teams. You have a Morgan Gibbs-White who's going to sign with a really good team soon in the forthcoming years. And it was good that we could have been physically dominant. Madueke was so physically dominant, it was insane, but he didn't have to. We were just the flow in which we played, the way the cogs and the machine moved. It was awesome to see, especially because of, like you guys both talked about, because of our depth, because of the guys we brought in, and just throwing them out there and being like, okay, cool, like you guys got to play like a team. I just thought was like awesome and like incredible to see.
For it to be only the fourth game of the season and have that cohesion, that chemistry.
Yeah.
I agree with everything you just said. It's just, and then take into consideration where we are in the season. But then benefit of, hey, Arsenal, listen, look at what you did. You got it right. You got these guys in early. You did your business, with the exception of Eza. You did the business early. You got them out for preseason. You gave them a chance to gel and work on cohesion and chemistry, and it's bearing its fruit now. So, moving on, I guess we'll get into our ups and downs. We'll do one each. OG, you said you'd go last. You'd pick up the scraps here. I got to be honest.
I have so many.
I mean, the ups. I don't know about a down. I really don't. I don't know that I have one. And believe me, I've been racking my brain over this for 36 hours, trying to think, okay, who do I hand one to? Like, I just don't know. I don't think the only one that I even came close to was Ethan. But then in the second half, it was completely different for him. And he's only 18. And with the way that everybody else played, like, I think he had a good second half. So I don't even really want to hand it to him. I don't know that anybody else had a bad game. I mean, or did something so egregiously wrong to hand him a down. Since OG's going to go last, Real Ryan, do you want to go first with your? Because I've got a couple for the ups. Do you want to go first with yours, or I've got my A, B, and C.
Yeah. So I'll definitely do up. But the down is Ange. I mean, let's be honest. Damn. He's ridiculous.
Well played, sir.
Comes in here and just takes another L.
Right.
Arteta.
Right.
Doesn't matter what team. Don't change teams.
Can I really just real quick? Can I just say what I'm real disappointed in that I didn't hear?
Yeah.
At least that it didn't come through on the TV was the Ange song to Daydream Believer.
Oh yeah.
Only because I guess we don't want to call Forest a shit football team.
Right.
Nice. But man, if there's one reason why I'm glad he's back in the Prem, we can sing that song when we see him.
Man, that guy.
That song was tremendous. That's one of my all-time favorites. Absolutely one of my all-time favorites. Sorry. Keep going.
No, you're good. So, and I'm sure you guys have a huge list. And I'm going to give one that you mentioned him earlier, but he just won't, for some reason, he just won't get the credit. And he doesn't, no one in the media talks about him. But Jurrien Timber's insane.
Yeah.
I think he's basically our version of like Darrelle Revis. It's like, don't go over there. You know what I mean? Just don't go over there. It's a black hole. Like you're not getting anything out of him. You're just not. So it's like, it doesn't even make sense to play that side because you're just not getting anything. Like he's unbelievably good 1v1. Like he's a specialist. And, we obviously, we love, when Ben White's healthy and what he can bring on the overlap and all that. But gosh, it feels good, especially, we'll need it, playing in the Champions League. And a lot of these teams have some really great wingers. It just feels good knowing that, like, he's not going to get done on, like, a consistent basis, if ever, in these games. And that has to be such a nice tool for Mikel to have because you don't have to roll coverage back his way to worry about if he's going to get skinned, because it just doesn't happen, God willing, you know what I mean? It's just like, and I think tactically that does a lot of nice things. And like, I don't want to talk too much about like American football, but when you have a corner, or a safety that can just literally lock down a side of the field, you can do so many other things defensively and offensive. Well, for us, because it's a fluid game, you can do so many different things defensively and obviously offensively. If it's like that side's dead, like we can do other things. We don't have to worry about it. So he's just so good, man. And this is, and another thing too, is the way he's come back from this ACL. Like normally, as someone who's torn his ACL, what normally happens is, and I'm not any type of athlete that he is, but you tear your ACL, it takes about a year, you come back, and then that year back is kind of suspect.
Yeah, you're still working it out.
Oh, and you don't trust your body at all. You don't trust it at all. The knee continues to swell, and it's usually another whole year of making sure you're cognizant of it. You might even have to get in there and get it drained, a few times here and there. Like usually a scope is something that comes after. They go in there and get some of the cartilage and dead whatever's in there that's been floating around.
OG's having flashbacks right now, by the way.
Well, I tore mine too. So I'm just saying, I've been through all this too.
Oh, I have. I've done mine twice.
Yeah. So the fact that like, that's just not a thing right now. And the fact that we know that he played, he talked about it. He wasn't 100% last year, but he gutted it out. Just absolute warrior, man. The guy's so good. So good.
There you go.
Talking about me, Mike, or
the answer is yes. The answer is yes, OG. I've seen you in person. I've seen that specimen. Wait,
no, specimen, not semen. Whatever.
Wait.
Anyways.
Anyway, my up is, I already mentioned him. But my up is going to be, and again, because I'm OG, I'm going to feed you the obvious one, I think. Unless you've got something to go way off the reservation with. Not way off. Not even way off the reservation. Go for it. My up is Christian Mosquera. The great thing, this kid is 20 years old. He cost us 18 million pounds, I think.
I think it was 13,
I thought 13 was Norgard. Regardless, doesn't matter. Either one of those numbers, it's an absolute steal. And the nice thing is that we see, we're getting glimpses of what he is. The thing is that, Saturday's game, it's Forest, new manager. They're still working out a lot of kinks over there, figuring things out under a new manager, but they weren't horrible to start the season. I don't think. Honestly, I don't even know if they've won a match. I think they have, but I'm not sure that they have. I haven't paid that much attention. Full disclosure. I take Saturday's game, go back 2 weeks, take the Liverpool match. When he comes in 2 minutes into the game, like, not when I say cold, I don't mean like he's got to warm up, but like he's getting thrown in the water at the deep end, man, at Anfield, and he's getting thrown in the water at the deep end. And then to come back with this and have this performance. And again, you take into consideration the quality of the opponent. All right. But still, and to do the job that he did, and for us to not really look like we've missed a beat. He looks very comfortable in his quote unquote own skin. The way that he can play the ball. It's not William Saliba. He's not, I'm not seeing that from him yet, but I'm seeing him not put a foot wrong. The headed clearance that he had was unbelievable. That's perfect. That's absolutely spot on what you need from your center halves, right? Corner comes into the box. The first one doesn't get it. The second one's got to get there. And that's exactly what he did. I don't really hear a lot of people talking about him other than the things that I'm saying, but that's a good thing. I've said it before about Big Gabby. If we're not talking about him, that's a good thing. right? And who did we say it about last week? Was it Zuby? Because I think it was when I was kind of like, oh, Zuby, I haven't quite seen the blah, 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 blah. And I think, OG, you're the one who said, have you noticed him? And I'm like, kind of not really. And you were like, I think that's who it was. But with Christian Mosquera, that's how I feel right now about him. To do it at Anfield, to back it up 2 weeks later, not miss a beat. I don't think that Zubamendi and Madueke are not going to be signings that I think sneak up on you. I don't think that we look back come June 1st and we look back at this past summer's signings. We say, okay, who is the best? One of those two will probably be up there, if not Gyökeres. But if you were to say who was the most underrated, it might be Christian Mosquera. I mean, he's not going to play 90 minutes 2 or 3 times a week. But if he comes in and if he can give us this kind of an effort once a month, once every 4 or 5 games, you spell Saliba. I guess I'll just put it this way. Let me ask this question to everybody watching, in the chat. Are you at all worried now if you see Christian Mosquera's name on the team sheet? Are you going to be worried if you see Mosquera's name on the team sheet Sunday against City? I'm not. Anybody?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I was never worried. He had such a good preseason, and I've seen enough games of him to where, like, Megan, please. I have my wife updating me on fantasy while I'm trying to talk. And I don't want to hear
It's
it.
a good wife.
Fantasy football, or is this something a little more? Are we?
Megan, he's in the lead already. It doesn't matter. I lost. Like, whatever.
Just scored a touchdown.
Yeah, Bucky. I had Bucky. I'm going against Bucky Irving, and I was winning until this last drive. But we won't talk about that. I'm losing by.
I don't even know who's playing.
Tampa Bay and Houston. Regardless, I'm about to lose by less than half a point. But it doesn't. Matter. Anyways, that's why I don't want to. I don't want her talking right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so
no,
Christian Mosquera.
I had enough preseason of him, and just watching him play in La Liga, and knowing his build, and knowing we kind of bought him to kind of play like Saliba. I trust our recruitment. I thought he was, definitely an upgrade on someone like a KVR, who's, a center back, kind of brought in to be depth. I don't know if worried was ever the right. I was never be worried. Would it be something that I would look at and be like, well, if they're gonna attack us, that's where they're gonna pinpoint him? Yeah, probably, and I think they still might. But no, I'm not worried. He's Saliba's clone to a T. I mean, he led the game in passing. Whatever, but that's what Saliba normally does, and I think being able to handle the ball at his feet, he carried it up a few times. I think he had four four passes in the final third, which I think is crazy for a center back.
Mosquera did.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that
I love that
he just has the confidence. What?
I love that you're the stats guy. I'm
Oh,
so glad I don't really have to look at stats a whole lot. You do it.
Yeah, no. So I'm happy. I think if anything, this could work to our benefit because they don't. I mean, yes, he's a Saliba clone, but I think it's good that teams don't know much about him. That way, he could kind of just pop up out of nowhere and be like, "Oh, see, we just like I just said, four final third passes. If he does that against City, they're going to be in a world of hurt."
Okay, so. Real Ryan, do you want to add anything on Mosquera at all before we get
No, I mean, and Ryan made a good point. I talked about him right before or right at the end of the preseason that I was just like, dude, this is unbelievable how good this guy is. And he's
only 20.
Yeah, I know. And the thing about Anfield is like when you're a backup defender, it's like being a backup quarterback in the NFL. Like you're not playing. You know what I mean? Normally,
on a good team, you're probably not playing.
You're chilling. So
right.
He's probably sitting over there like, hey, it's probably the first time maybe that he's even been at Anfield. And 4 minutes into the game, it's like, hey man, get the tracksuit off, man. You're gonna play. So for him to settle in, and he didn't not a step wrong. And I feel like now we're starting to see the range of pass. I think he's always been a really good defender, really front-footed. He gives me, I think people have mentioned this too, like that Tony Rudiger, very wiry, strong, fast. But now I'm starting to see his passing too. So he's trying to pick some passes out, which has been nice. And it's not always the safe one, just out wide to a left back or right back, whatever. He's, putting the ball in the middle of the field, Zubamendi, whatever. He's spraying it out there. I think he had one really nice one where he baited Gibbs White to come at him, and then he clipped one to the right side to, I think it was Medwake, but it was just like, okay, like you're starting to feel yourself a little bit. He did the little La Pausa, steps on the ball, waits for Gibbs White to press, and then he just clips one right over top of him, and it led to a pretty nice move. I think it's that 1-2 that they did with Ethan that put us through. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was a nice exchange of play. I think 1-2 Zubamendi. I think Ethan put Nani through or whatever, something like that. But I'm like, okay, this guy, so good. So yeah, man, he's a stud. Simple.
Yeah. OG, what do you got for an up for us?
Just because we didn't really talk about him, I didn't want to take the low hanging fruit. I picked Eza. I think when we look at the left wing position, I think it's something we talked about. I feel like ad nauseum. You look at Martinelli, you look at Trossard, like what they're going to do. You know what they're best at. With Eza, he did both. He dribbled on the left hand side and he cut in and made some moves and made some passes. He got the assist for one of our goals. But he also can cut in early into the middle of the pitch and kind of play that almost like a left 8, but a little more pushed up. And he played a lot in the middle of the pitch. And I think having that IQ is phenomenal, especially for our left wing, especially when I feel like, when you look at Trossard, you look at Martinelli, they're two players that play the same position, but they have completely different skill sets, where I feel like Eze has both of their skill sets. So to me, it's just such a big upgrade to have him. And on top of that, one of the things, when, before he came to Palace, people were questioning his off the ball and how he, doesn't really track back, doesn't really work as hard, when tracking back and all that. He was great. I think his off the ball movement was phenomenal, whether it's tracking back or even just off the ball movement, just attacking wise, period. That was also something that they talked about. Even moving forward, his off the ball movement was just, could be better, if he wanted to be a true world class player. But I saw all that, all of his negatives that were talked about before he came to Arsenal. He didn't skip a beat. He was phenomenal. Again, and he's another player where it's just going to be interesting to see how we deploy him, with Odegaard hurt. And I do think Odegaard will probably be back before Saka, but it just gives you a lot to think about, when you talk about Menweke being, he has to start every week. Well, where does he play? He's going to play over Saka, he's going to play over Eze. Like, I don't know. Then you move Eze into the middle. Does Odegaard take a seat if he's healthy? All good problems to have, obviously. But yeah, I really loved his off the ball IQ for this match, considering that it was just talked about ad nauseum that how like that was going to be an issue when he came to Arsenal.
Yeah, I heard that his off the ball, I guess I'll say work rate from Palace was, if there was any concern at all, it was that. But I didn't see any of that and again, we kind of had a lot of the ball. I feel like we had a lot of the ball on Saturday. I don't know what the possession numbers are, but yeah, interesting that you went with Eza over a few others. I mean, we pretty much already talked about Madueke, so I think we would all give him an up, and Zubamendi even, but there's, I guess I'll go back to my comments last week, because you did say to me, you texted me on Saturday. What was it? Like, are you happy? Are you happy with Zubamendi now, or do you still think? I don't even remember what it was. I'm not going to bother going back through the text messages looking it up. But I guess I'll just say honorable mention on my end to Zubamendi, because I did kind of not. What do I want to say here? I wasn't thrilled over the moon with the performances that he put in through the first 3 matches, but And even taking the goals away that he scored on Saturday, he was very noticeable in a good way to me on Saturday. He just seemed to be, he was everywhere. He was picking out passes everywhere, just really controlling things in the midfield, I thought, for us, really kind of setting the tempo at which we wanted to operate from the engine room. So and an honorable mention on my part to Zubamendi, just because I kind of threw him under the bus a week ago. Real Ryan, go ahead. What'd you say?
I said, how you like that? I didn't really notice.
Yeah, and it's so funny that I say all of that, and then he comes back with 2 goals, right?
I mean, I know you guys watch the game a lot.
You hear what you said, and he took that personally.
Yeah, and like,
good friend of the show, Martin Zubamendi, good friend of the show.
Yeah.
Like, it is, and I hate to be like the guy, like, oh, like, you don't understand, like, unless you played, but like everyone can see, like, plucking a ball out of the air like that is like, it's one thing to catch it off a hop, you know what I mean? Like, and
right.
Most people can get good contact, whatever, especially the pros, but like just plucking it out of the air like that and getting that power on it, like, absolutely insane.
I'm fairly certain that I would have missed and hurt myself, but it also would have looked like some sort of like circus act. Like, my body would have stretched in ways that it has never stretched before. And I'm talking about at any point, obviously.
Cirque du Soleil over there.
If I tried to do it now, I'd be dead. I'd be absolutely dead. Just getting my leg up that high, I'd have been like, whoa, time out. I'm winded. I gotta catch my breath. At the peak of my athletic ability, like right around my late teens and my early 20s. Oh my Lord, I've never played the game in my life. If I don't know. Or I'd have gone Randy Johnson. I'd have kicked it. I'd have made contact. The ball would have gone straight up in the air, and I'd have killed a bird or something. That's how bad it would have been for me. But yeah, just an honorable mention to Zubamendi. I guess I kind of already gave my down if I'm going to give one, but I just don't know. I got nothing other than the like injuries.
Right.
I'll say the Odegaard shoulder thing. That sucks. Yeah. But it doesn't sound like he's going to need it. He doesn't need surgery. I shouldn't say it doesn't sound like. Arteta said he doesn't need surgery, so it's most likely. What is it? An AC joint? Is that's what's up there in the shoulder? I think that's what it's called.
Sprained AC joint.
Sprained AC. Yeah. Okay.
Which is like not that bad. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
a pain thing.
Probably some pain management is probably it. Other than that, man, like every player that I think of, I don't know of anyone that had a poor performance. I don't know of anyone that put a foot wrong. Sure, could you say, oh, make that decision? But it's not like there was a decision made that led to, there were no egregious errors in this game. Nobody looked off the pace to me for us in this game. Even the subs, nobody looked off it. I thought Martinelli coming on looked bright. He did some things that I was happy to see him doing. I got to be honest. I don't really have it down for you. I mean, real Ryan, you said Ange. I don't know if you've got anything from Arsenal to add. I really want to hear what all right, OG. I really want to hear what you've got on this.
Okay, well, I have 2. I mean, I thought I had 3, but Odegaard's like stupid. I have 2. One I'm not sure about. Well, the one I'm not sure about real quick is Norgard. Just because as far as I could tell, he was healthy and he didn't even make the bench. I saw his shirt hanging in the locker room, and I was very surprised. We brought him in to be like kind of Jorginho signing, to have this presence, to be like the closer, and I just find it odd that he's not even making the bench. It's just weird, like the type of player he is, and coming from captaining Brentford, who's decent enough side. They're in the Premier League. Being their best player in quite some time. I mean, you'd argue Ivan Toney, but I think people probably lean on Norgard. But yeah, maybe he is still hurt and he just wasn't fit. But then why did I see? I saw a picture of the locker room and his shirt was hanging up. So I don't know. That was weird. But my other down is Ben White because, I mean, kind of what Ryan said, with Timber's performance, I don't see how Ben White makes it back into this team, and you talk about how potentially load management and benching him. And I've read mosquitoes and cauliflower, and it kind of threw me off. But I just, dude, Timber is just, and I love Ben White. But Timber just does everything better. Maybe not shithousing. I think Ben White's a better shithouser. But Timber doesn't need shithouse. He'll just put you on your ass. He don't care. He doesn't need to talk. He doesn't need to talk smack. He'll just put you on your ass. He's, if you're going to like the schoolyard to have like a fight with like another gang or something, my first pick is going to be Jury and Timber. So, I mean, the shithousing doesn't matter at that point. But yeah, I mean, it's just insane. And I feel bad for Ben White because I think him and Saka together are just, I don't know, something. It's I want to like kind of just say it's like magic. But yeah, dude, Timber, Timber is just so consistent every week. He just doesn't put a foot wrong. I don't know. It's almost insane. Sometimes I watch him play and I'm like, I want him to just make a mistake. Cause I'm like, dude, are you like a robot? Are you not? Like, are you human? Like, I don't know. He's one of my favorite players. He's so good. And and there's talks that since Tuchel took over the England job, that Ben White is now going to he wants to be put into consideration to getting picked to play for England, to represent England, his country. I don't foresee that happening at all. So, he's not going to play. So it's going to be very interesting to see, how he makes it into Arteta's good graces. I mean, this Port Vale's coming soon. Hopefully he's fit.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like Ben White. Little disappointed that you didn't actually take something from the game. But again, I guess there wasn't anything.
I mean, my headline was one heartbeat. Well, who like literally?
That's what that's
so why would I pick it down of someone who played? It wouldn't make sense. I'm the only person, if you really want to get to the nitty gritty, when Neri could have played better, but like
that's
anyway, what do we do? Like, he wasn't bad.
The Ben White thing, and I'm with you because I love Ben White, and it's a little weird to me that you picked Yuri and Timber to join you in a fist fight because Ben White would be it for me.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Ben White to me is a talker. I don't he can fight, but Timber.
Anyway,
I think Timber all day.
I definitely think there's. I mean, look, Timber. The idea with all of this is that so that none of these guys have to play 60 matches, right, or at the very least, that these guys don't have to play 90 minutes for 60 matches, right? So I definitely think that Ben White's going to get as long as he comes back and he's healthy. I mean, this is going on 2 years on a year and a half now, where all of a sudden, like, he just can't get healthy now. And it sucks because I don't want to see us run the wheels off Timber. And having Ben White back in the rotation means that everybody else can move around as well. So I definitely want to see him back. I'm a big Ben White fan. But the point is taken. I guess that's it on the 1 up, 1 down thing. I guess maybe let's look ahead briefly to tomorrow. How much rotation are you expecting tomorrow, Real Ryan? I'll start with you. Is there any who gets into this match tomorrow that maybe we're not expecting as a starter?
I just all these guys want to play in the Champions League. So as much as I want the rotation, and I think we got to think about City, I don't really know how much we'll actually see. I don't think we're going to see this hugely rotated side. I mean, we heard Eze and Medway could talk about how excited they are to play in the Champions League. Feel like they'll probably play. I don't really see us changing the front three. I mean, honestly, we might get the same front three. I think Declan will play. I think Ethan will play just because we know Odegaard's probably not. I don't, and we just mentioned it. Is Zubimendi is no regard ready to play? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if, so
is it?
It's really just the back line. Like, is it? I think you gotta be easy with Calafiori now. So, I mean, I feel like MLS will probably start. I'd love for Timber to get a rest, but I don't really know how we, are going to approach any of that. I don't know. I know Saliba's been training. Looks like I could see him playing. So I don't really see, as much rotation as I think we would want. So I'm honestly not sure.
Let me ask this. Let me ask it a different. Well, OG, take this one. Is it still early enough, and are we still fresh enough that in this moment we don't really need to see a lot of rotation? Everybody's still fresh, as opposed to January or February, festive fixtures. All the congestion around those holidays. Go ahead, Real. What were you going to say?
Yeah, real quick too, and I think Ryan will probably say this. So, but it's also Tuesday, Sunday, so there's time.
Well, right. I'm thinking more of the 2 days off from Saturday to Tuesday, because we get 5 days off. We get a great break from here to City, but
City
we also
play Thursday,
right?
Oh, do they?
Yep. Yeah, Napoli.
I was putting the comments up on it. That's right. Yeah. I forgot there were Thursday games.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. So is everybody still fresh enough to be able to shoulder this load? We don't have to see a whole lot of rotation. We can afford to pretty much run the best 11 that we have out there for a while.
How do I answer this? No, hold on. We're not fresh. Like, to me, like Saka's playing this game. Odegaard's playing this game.
Ben
White
injuries. The injuries.
Ben White didn't practice today. So, like, to me, Ben White would be playing. He's not playing. Like, we have too many injuries to where I don't want to say we can't rotate, but we're not going to rotate as much as I want to, and I think everybody else wants to. Go to the bar to day drink. Well, BX, where do you? I'm curious where you watch your games, BX. I was debating it, but my sister-in-law is getting married, so that's gonna be fun to navigate. Or no, I'm talking about the City game, not the Bilbao game. But no, I definitely expect probably Wanyeri to play. I expect MLS to play kind of everything that Ryan was saying. Odegaard's not practicing, Saka's not practicing, Ben White's not practicing. There's not really much rotation we could do. I don't really want to play the hiccup guy. What's his name?
Hincapié.
Oh, he's French? No. I don't know. There's really not much rotation we do. Maybe you play Kepa, but again, like, this is Athletic Club. Like, they're 3-1. They're doing okay in La Liga so far. But to quote one of my favorite shows, you got to set the fucking tone. And like, this is our first Champions League game. You need to set the tone. So I don't want rotation. I want us to go balls out, and I want to bury this team. Let people know, keep people on watch, because I think we're third in like betting wise. We have third best odds to win the Champions League. So
I saw second too.
So maybe it might have been second.
Different books too, but yeah, it's Liverpool, us, and then I forget who's
you're right. I thought like one of Madrid or Barcelona.
Might have been Opta. I think it was Opta. Yeah. So I don't know if that's like an actual betting line, but yeah, second favorites. Yeah. So we need to just show everybody why we should be the favorites to win the Champions League, and it starts the first game. And I don't think Atletico are a hard team to beat, like, on any given day. But first Champions League game, need to set the tone. I don't care. I honestly wouldn't even care who it was. It could have been, I don't even know, whatever crappy team we're playing in pot 5 or 4 or whatever. But yeah, no, it's not going to be much rotation, and I don't really want rotation. I think the rotation for me, and for what we should have, is the rotation of, like, at the end of the game when we have that 2-goal lead, you bring on like your Max Daumans, your guys who don't see a lot of playing time. I'll get his name down by next show. But Hincapié,
There you go. You got it by this show. Look at you.
Okay. Well, no, I want to say it with confidence. I wasn't confident at all. Yeah, those are the guys that'll get like their debuts and stuff. But yeah, no, as far as like starting 11, I don't expect a lot of rotation at all.
I'm good with it. Not that my opinion matters, but I'm good with it. I don't know, guys. What else was on your mind? I'm good. We're at an hour here. Sorry,
covered the game. Got a little, talked a little about lineup for Bilbao. I mean, I'm good.
There's nothing else really on my mind. I mean, I think I've got everything out. I mean, I could do this for another 3 hours if you want to, but
the thing I wanted to bring up, because we're not going to talk about it again until the game ends, with City and how that,
I was actually debating on doing another show this week.
Well, we could, but I mean, I'm just really quick. Stuart Atwell's a ref, and when you go down to nitty gritty, like every major ref in the Premier League has screwed us over at one point or another. So I saw a lot of people go, Stuart Atwell's a ref, and then they showed pictures of him giving red cards to Gabriel, David Luiz.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you could pull up any ref and this guy.
Yeah.
But we just need to play our game. We're better than Man City now. It's crazy to say this, but we should beat them. They have injuries too. The only thing that worries me is, Rodri tore his ACL against us last season, and he's going to be out for blood, and I'm sure he's going to do some shit. He's going to do some shit because he's not the nicest of players. So that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about him trying to hurt one of our players. So hopefully Stuart Atwell has this game kind of in check early, which I don't have high hopes for. But yeah, that's my only really thing I wanted to kind of touch upon and talk about, because I think that's kind of a thing that I'm sure. I mean, if it's not talked about, it probably won't be because they're Man City and they don't do anything wrong. So, but yeah, hopefully, I'll just stop here because if we do the show, we could. Yeah.
We'll get. Yeah, I think I'd like to do a recap because I think there will be. Feel like there will be a good amount to talk about after tomorrow, and then obviously look ahead to Sunday in City, because it's a big one. It's it's another big one on the calendar, and we certainly talked a lot about how we lined up, how we played at Anfield, and how do we come out and play against City. So we'll talk about that. So everybody within the sound of my voice right now, stay tuned. Good opportunity for me to say, drop a like on the video. If you're watching live right now, if you've made it this far on the replay, please drop us a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Click the bell icon so you never miss a show. So if we do decide to do something later in the week, you'll know. You don't have to watch it on YouTube, but just subscribe to the channel anyway. Help us out. We would appreciate that. OG, final thought.
Again, just I'm very excited to see us in the Champions League. I always am. Set the tone. That's it. We've seen to set the tone, and really impose our will in the first half. Put it to bed. That way we can bring on the people that a lot of supporters want to start, because they want to heavily rotate, and people don't respect the Athletic Club. Which fair, we beat them in the preseason, but we need to just bury them in the first half. And I think, with who we have, especially with, Declan Rice not starting for us, I think it will be fine. I'm just hoping for a fun, entertaining game, as far as entertaining and fun from just our point of view and nobody else's.
Yeah. Real one.
Wait, Madueke didn't. Mike, you really can't spell. Is this really Madueke's first? He didn't play for Chelsea. Oh, wait, Chelsea wasn't Chelsea.
Yeah, they weren't in it.
Oh yeah,
last year they were.
Wait, but wasn't he on? He's never played Champions League for Chelsea? Oh, I didn't know that. I thought he played 1 year. But okay, yeah, cool.
Real one. What do you got?
I mean, I don't have much. I mean, Ryan covered it well. I think it's really important that we go out and just set the tone and just win these games. I honestly think we got a pretty good draw. I mean, all of our good games are all our tough games are at home. I feel like the rest of the group kind of worked out pretty well. I think we should win a lot of them. I mean, I can see us winning 7 of these, and I think that puts you in a much better spot. I think it was kind of weird with how they did the reshuffling last time, and I think teams will actually take it seriously now a little bit more. instead of being, PSG and having to play Liverpool or vice versa, kind of how that worked out because PSG kind of, lost some games that they probably shouldn't have. So I don't want to be in that position. So let's just, the games that we should win, let's win them. And, just pray for no injuries, obviously, because now we just have to say that because we haven't left a game without one. So, that'll be something that I'm hopeful it doesn't happen. And like Mike said, and, his spelling, but I am excited. I'm really excited for Eze and Madueke to play in a Champions League game. So, obviously something that all players look forward to, and it'll be a special moment for them. And I think they'll ball out. So,
yeah. Looking forward to it tomorrow, boys. I don't know if I'm going out to watch it yet or not. 12:45 on the East Coast here, kickoff time. Weird time. It sucks for me because the bar where I go is like a half hour, almost 40 minutes away. And I work tomorrow night, and the bar is closer to work. But it's like, okay, if the game's over at 3:00,
right? Like, what are you gonna do?
What am I gonna do for 4 hours? I don't really want to be gone that long, so I don't know what I'm doing.
Go to a movie, man.
What's that?
Watch the game.
Oh, oh, you might be
now. I'm full of good ideas.
You might be onto something because the new Conjuring movie is out.
That's what I would do.
Oh, Nicole won't go watch those with me at all, but
the new Conjuring movie.
Here's your chance.
Yes.
Jesus.
What's wrong with you?
I won't spoil it because I actually know. I know what happens in the movie, but
then shut your face.
Wait, it's called Conjuring Last Rites.
Yes.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun fact, this bring out my nerd here.
This guy.
I don't like horror movies.
Me for going to see The Conjuring,
Right.
and now he's
I won't say my fun fact. That's fine.
No, go ahead. What's your fun fact?
It's really nerdy and lame.
Come on, let's go.
I don't like horror movies, so like what I do is I usually do it when I'm trying to go to sleep. I'll get my eyes heavy, which makes absolutely no sense. Is I'll read like synopsises of like horror movies. Like I'll read. So I read that the other day. I read that movie the other day. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. So horror movies are just not my thing. I don't enjoy being scared.
Love scary movies. Maybe we'll do a show on scary movies someday.
Cool.
That wouldn't work.
Count me out
because you don't watch them.
Well, I know.
Anyway, just final thought. I'll just echo what the both of you just said because I agree wholeheartely. Spot on, fellas. Well done. Yeah, that's it for us. Stay tuned. Probably try to do something later in the week. Maybe a Thursday night if it'll work out for us. But yeah, that's it. Like I said, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you guys, everybody in the chat, for being here tonight. Alex, good stuff. Mike, John, Right Road. It's a new one. I don't remember seeing you in here. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. We'd really appreciate it if you are not subscribed already. BX Gunner, as always, thank you very much. You're one of the real ones around here as well. So yeah, thanks everybody. Appreciate. I put his comment up. Happy accident. Everybody have a good week. We're going to get out of here. It's been good footy talk. We'll see you out there.